Hey everyone, here is our fork in the road. And you can see down there that Bella has instantly taken that one because she knows it. So what I want to talk about today is that there is this moment that happens in the safety, in the privacy, often of therapy room. And when a woman says to me, she leans forward and she says, "This is going to sound crazy." And you can see that she's gauging me. You know, is this a safe place for me to divulge something? Because I know that in the very next sentence, she is going to disclose a truth that is so profoundly deep and precious to her that is a beginning point of a new track in the road. So when a woman feels that this sounds crazy, there is a truth there, just waiting to be explored. And often she may have tried to talk about it somewhere in her life and be met with maybe looks, or even, wow, that's crazy, or what? And that's understandable, and yet when we start to unpack that very next sentence, we start to do what I call, it's the ancient art of tracking in lioness training. And we just start following that path. So, because if it's a step, and after that, there is another step, and another step starts to show up. So some of these crazy thoughts might be something like, sounds crazy, but I feel like I hate my life. And it sounds crazy because, she's feeling, well, I should be grateful, I've got a great life. Or, this motherhood thing, maybe it's just not for me. How does that sound to the outside world? Or I have to leave this job that I've been at for, 20 years, that I've got a pension. This sounds crazy. And yet you can feel that there's a deep yearning in her heart for something else. And the mind will say, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to do that? What does this mean about you? And how's everybody going to suffer? And yet, it often turns out to be something very different when we start exploring it. And it's such an honor to be able to walk women down that path at that crossroads. And we dive into something that's deeper. So when I had a dream on the desert last summer of being visited by a lion-headed goddess that was actually me, I woke up terrified. And I thought, wow, that was crazy. And yet, there was something in me. There was a scent. I was on a path. I followed a scent of something that was there for me. And luckily, I shared it with the facilitator. That was my next step. I was tracking. And he just looked at me and said, wow, let's unpack that. And from unpacking that one step led to just a wealth of knowing in my own body that was ready to emerge. From there developed the lioness pose, the lioness frequency, the lioness training that I started to reflect back out into the world when it was ready. And it'll always be in process. And it's from there that I opened up a whole map to my inner knowing. And I'm so grateful that I felt safe and comfortable enough to disclose this to the facilitator who, it's all energy, who was very steeped in the trainings of Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess, and that has been guiding my work. So if there's something in your life that you feel, that just sounds crazy, track that path and see where the journey takes you. There's something waiting there for you that's a bigger gift beyond what you could imagine.